Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to easily win a grand challenge with the newly buffed 2.9 Balloon Psycho. And I did this on my mini account, but unfortunately I wasn't able to go flawless because I did get caught off guard by a Hog Ice Golem ability push from this guy, but it happens. And grand challenges are definitely the next step up from classic challenges. It's an achievement every player should strive for at some point in this game. And I'm going to be showing you all the wins from Game 6 to 12 from my POV, no replays, which is nice. And to be honest, I didn't record the first 6 games, but if you can't cleanly progress past 6 to 8 wins in a Grand Challenge consistently, you probably don't have the level to play these just yet, also for the sake of time, but it's alright, trust the process. And if you have the gems, it might be worth farming Grand Challenges for resources, because it does give you a champion at the end, but I wouldn't recommend it over playing ladder. You're better to practice meta matchups though, since everyone in Grand Challenges is only ever going to be abusing meta decks. And you will struggle against Graveyard, which is pretty common in this mode, but like I said, GCs are a great way to practice against them. Alright, let's just get into it then. I'll be switching over to voiceover, so warning that my voice is going to get louder. So make sure to like and subscribe if you like content like this, and yeah, I'll see you in the first game. Alright, we're in the first game here up against Giant Sparky Wizard Tornado. So I'd like to shout out Firework, my retired British goat. He made the right decision for not continuing to play this game, but yeah, he made a whole matchup guide on Giant Sparky, so I highly recommend it as a good learning resource if you want to learn how to play this matchup better. But the gist of it is that when they Sparky to back, you want to Bomb Tower into it, and then you want to Naked Loon opposite lane to either force out a Wizard or a Nado on defense. If you just try to turtle, then you will not be able to defend. So yeah, you can gradually accumulate damage throughout the course of the game, and you have a chance of outcycling them. But yeah, this matchup is not the best. And I believe here I tried to get a Skelly Surround on the Sparky, but unfortunately I placed them a little bit too early. I think that's something you need to be careful of as well, because if I had that Bomb Tower surviving, we wouldn't really need to panic on this defense. But here I decided to pop the Ice Golem ability, and it's really good against beatdown pushes because it just allows your Musketeer to DPS everything down. And yeah, so definitely a pretty clean defense here. Here I didn't defend the Wizard with the Ice Golem because I figured I was down about 2 elixir. So yeah, playing it would be a bit of an overcommit. But we are in the damage lead, albeit only by like a tiny amount. So it's a very even game so far. We didn't take a Sparky shot, so it's about as good as it gets. And you just want to get your Bomb Tower, as Firework would say, into the Sparky every time. So yeah, does he support this? I actually forgot. But yeah, I figured he would Giant in front, so I tried to, timing him by going for a Balloon, but unfortunately it doesn't quite work out. We still have the surviving Bomb Tower, so that will help out a little bit on defense. And then here we just go for another Musketeer plus Hero Ice Golem defense, I believe. And yeah, this ability is just so good against beatdown pushes. It's such a good defensive resource. And yeah, the Giant's pretty easily defended. He does go for another Giant into the Bomb Tower. And here we're forced to Evil Musk on the Giant because we lost our Bomb Tower. But he actually missed one of the evil skeletons, so that forced out another set of arrows by him. So we can go in here because we're up elixir and we have the counter pushing Musketeer. And here I just popped the ability trying to get it to tower, but he does a tornado last second, which prevents the tower from getting frozen, but the Balloon doesn't get a shot, but that's still a lot of damage. And yeah, that's an easy Barbaro, and we can go in again since we have the skeletons to distract Mini P.E.K.K.A, and his Dagger Duchess is completely out of ammunition. So yeah, another good defense by us, and the Balloon actually gets a hit. So the game's pretty much over at this point. We just need to get a little bit more minor damage and be careful of the tornadoes on offense. But this guy is not Agony King, not the best tornado by him. And yeah, we can just get a Barbaro on the Wizard and go in. So this minor placement here is actually something I've seen Fan doing. It's a very difficult placement to catch. So I'll refer to it as like the Fan Miner, or like when Fan places a Miner in that position. But yeah, that was a good win against not the easiest matchup. Alright, we're in the next match up against this guy, and he does a Princess to Bridge first play, so we didn't really have anything good in Psycho for it, so Miners are cheapest response there. And generally against Firecracker decks, I recommend you guys to just try to get the King Tower up as soon as possible. A good Firecracker player, usually it's the good Hog EQ players, but they will hold on to their Firecracker for as long as possible so that they can delay the King Tower activation. But in matchups like that, once they use their pressure card, let's say it's a Hog, then you can just go in to force out the Firecracker on offense, and that also helps to clean up your Psycho. But yeah, he's playing Princess, Firecracker, Golden Knight, so at this point I wasn't really sure what he has. It's important early on if you're not sure about your deck just to, feel it out. But he does a very aggressive Rocket there, so he's down some Elixir, so we can go in for sure here. And yeah, the Firecracker's running to the opposite lane. It won't be able to support his push, but he does get an Inferno Tower down at 0 Elixir, which is unfortunate. That was like the one building that could have stopped our push there. And generally a piece of advice I have is that if you anticipate that they're about to Princess to Bridge, it's always a better idea to just hover your Musketeer in the lane that is weaker, because that's where to usually Princess, and it definitely beats like having to, swipe your Musketeer on screen in like a millisecond. You usually won't catch the Princess like that. But yeah, I believe we just kite the Golden Knight, and then pretty decent snowball as well. And we can go in again for sure. But yeah, since it's reaching double, then we can just go in since we also have the Evil Moss. And this Miner is actually able to get one hit on the Firecracker, and we're also able to snipe his Inferno Tower. That inside tile Miner is very good against Inferno Tower decks because it distracts the Inferno and also gets damage on the tower. It's also very good against, it's good against most decks with a building. You don't want to be doing it every time because then it gets a little predictable, but yeah. And again, we can just keep going in. It doesn't matter if he Inferno Towers, the Miner chip is also very important. And yeah, he didn't miss his Inferno Tower twice in a row. Like, worse players usually won't know the correct or optimal placements to defend your balloons, so yeah, you can break through easier than usual. And Bomb Tower on the Princess is never a bad play, unless they have, other cards that urgently need your Bomb Tower, like a Evil Skeleton Barrel. Yeah, here we're just controlling the game, well, not giving him anything. Like, in this matchup, the Musketeer is very good because it's unkillable, and it can kill their, DPS is down their Golden Knights, it can kill their Princesses on their side of the map. So yeah. And we've already basically won this game, we just need a little bit more Miner damage, and yeah. Very easy game, and not the best play from our opponents, but that's usually how it is at lower wins in a Grand Challenge. And yeah, we take the tower there and the win. Alright, we're in the next game up against this guy, and I believe he was playing some homemade Firecracker Miner Poison Bats deck, which, yeah, in general, it's always a good idea to get your Musketeer into the Firecracker. Usually never a bad play. And yeah, just get your King Tower up off the Firecracker. The Firecracker is anti-synergy with so many different cards, like pretty much anti-synergy with everything apart from the Hog and the Drill. So if you are in mid-ladder, I wouldn't recommend just sticking the Firecracker in any deck because it's annoying, But yeah, the King Tower helping out there against the Miner. And he does kind of a weird Firecracker here. I was tempted to snowball it, but I do kind of a weird Muskie placement here just to see what other cards he has and also to block the shot. Also to Psycho to the Evil, of course. But yeah, here I figured that he probably wouldn't have Tornado since he had Miner Bats, and yeah, you're just playing some off-meta version of the old Miner Poison deck. And yeah, King Tower helping out a lot against a miner. I felt like I didn't really need to commit my evil skeletons on it, and he does a very bad firecracker. It's not like a dart goblin. It does need to walk up a little to be able to shoot. And I knew here he was down definitely quite a bit of elixir, so I decided to just go all in here. And here I thought he had bats in cycle already. I miscounted, but still popping the ability is very good. It acts like a snowball because we didn't have it in cycle. And yeah, it allows the loon to one-shot the cannon. The loon basically takes his entire tower. So we've already won this game just by identifying that he overcommitted with his evil firecracker. He didn't have bats in psycho. So yeah. And of course the minor bats is not going to do anything. And yeah, very easy win, to be honest. I'll just show the rest of this game because, you know, we've all been in positions where we had some big lead and did some epic choke, you know. But yeah, he can't really break through if... I mean, he literally can't break through if we just play like a semblance of decent defense. And I thought he would try to firecracker on my Ice Golem here, so I tried to predict it. But he doesn't go for the obvious play, so I guess props to him. But yeah, this is why you, in general, this is why you don't want to put Firecracker in like every single deck. Like, you can't even do the like different minor placements because, I mean, the King Tower is just killing that miner twice as fast, excuse me. And yeah, another very easy win. We were able to identify when to go in at the right time, and then one push just won us the entire game. So yeah, I hope that taught you something, and yeah, see you in the next game. Alright, we're in the next game up against this guy, and he's playing Giant Skeleton Graveyard Hut with Zappies and Evil Snow. This matchup is literally garbage, like they have 1,000,000 I think you gotta try to win in single or get a lot of damage there because you cannot really keep up with how they clog up the lanes with Zappy Split and Evil Furnace plus the Evil Snow Bailout. So he does a very skilled play there, and you never ever want to play your skeletons on the graveyard because then they can get a curse and then you will take a bunch of damage. The only advantage you have in this matchup is the unkillable Musketeer, so you need to get good value from it by, you know, killing the giant skeleton, DPSing down the furnaces. But yeah, I recommend cycling as many of them as possible in this matchup and going in with a counter-pushing Musketeer as much as you can. And of course, if they waste their air cards, be sure to go in. And yeah, let's just see how we're able to handle this guy. But yeah, I believe I go Miner on the Furnace here. It's not a bad play, especially with the Snowball, since because he played the Hut, he didn't really have enough to protect the Furnace. So yeah, the Balloon is going to head towards his tower here. I did a bad Evil Skeletons here. I should have done them in the middle so the Berserker would run to it, and that allows 2 hits. I wasn't really sure what I was thinking with that placement there. But it's okay, it's not a big deal. And he does another skilled play here, so unfortunately, since we have to always overcommit on the graveyard, we have to ignore the Zappies on the other lane, unfortunately. If we defended the Zappies, we'd be down too much elixir, because we just spent 6 on the graveyard defense. But yeah, in general, like, for defensive protocols in this match, you'd want to Musketeer on the Giant Skeleton. Bomb Tower into the same lane as the Furnace or G-Skelly is never a bad idea. And yeah. Also, I would say Balloon the Back doesn't really do that much in this matchup because their lane clog is just insane. Like, you can't really outcycle them because they have too many good air counters. So yeah, it's good to prioritize Miner Chip. And yeah, here I pop the ability, and it barely doesn't one-shot the Huts, but we also snowballed the Furnace away, and I believe this allows us to sneak a connection through. So yeah, that was a very good snowball by us, but now we have to defend. And yeah, we're just getting the Bomb Tower the same lane as the Furnace. And I thought he would go in with a Graveyard the same lane as the Giant Skeleton, but he doesn't, which I thought was a little bit strange, but you kind of have to play predictive in this matchup. Otherwise, yeah, you're just gonna lose if you don't defend well. And yeah, double small spell in the graveyard isn't like necessarily ideal, but it's not the worst either. And yeah, we're just getting a bomb tower the same lane as the furnace, and he's forced to curse on the evil skeletons, which, you know, a barbaro can just take care of easily. And yeah, I thought the evil skeletons would chain onto his tower and perform some sort of miracle, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But yeah, I think Darrow is okay to skeletons because he didn't have curse immediately back in Psycho, and it ate up a Spear Goblin shot or two. So it's not bad at all. And here, even if the Evil Musketeer doesn't get that much value, it's still good to force it down, because you do need the DPS for his troops. And again, you can cycle to multiple of them, so it's not all that bad. And here I thought he would go in again, so I blocked, but he doesn't. And yeah, the giant skeletons are... Excuse me, not the giant skeletons. The evil skeletons are very good in this matchup. Not for defending Graveyard, because if they curse on it, as I mentioned before, you'll just lose. But their spells take a little bit of time to get down. Like, the snowball doesn't, you know, get down instantly. The curse doesn't get down instantly. So saving them for, like, defending a giant skeleton is very good, actually. And yeah, here we just have to play defense, I think, because, yeah, their troop stack is way too crazy. Like, you can't really push into, like, Zappy's hut. And yeah, we're just using the Evil Musk just to get a Musketeer down. And we can go in because, you know, we just killed some of his Zappies and he has to waste time defending. And yeah. And then, of course, Musketeer on the Graveyard is good. And we just want to commit everything as possible on it to make sure it doesn't get too much damage. And I did misclick my Miner there. I should have Minored on his tower. We're able to take a very nice win, actually, against a 1,000,000 and 0 matchup. Just by playing defense at the end, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, we were able to get our damage in, you know, mostly because of that good offensive snowball we did, and yeah. And we hit him with the crazy BM at the end, which was deserved. But yeah, that was a good win, and yeah, see you guys in the next match. Alright, we're in the second to last game of the challenge up against this guy, and turns out he's playing the Piggy's Hot Lightning deck with Ice Wizard. And I did make some mistakes this game, but it's alright, you learn best by identifying your mistakes, so hopefully you can also learn from mine. And this matchup is not the best, to be honest, but with a good Evil Musk on their hut, following a Balloon to back, you can get a lot of damage. And I would say generally don't be too aggressive if they have Evil Pigs, and try to maintain a good cycle when you know they have the pigs in hand, namely with Snowball plus a delayed bomb tower. So here I knew it was safe to go for this Miner because he didn't have Ghost in Psycho. So yeah, in case you guys didn't notice interaction, Musketeer plus a Barbaro on their Barbaro will actually kill it just in time. But yeah, that forces out another response from him, so it's good for us. But he is already back to Evil Ghost, so... I mean, not back to, he's already cycled to Evil Ghost, so we need to be mindful of that. And yeah, I want to say you also want to force opposite lane at some point, because if you just keep going same lane as them, then their lightning gets way too much value on your Musk. And here, I made a mistake. I should have gone for the anti-NATO bomb tower setup, the one with, you know, bomb tower slightly to the left, and then, yeah, Skellies to push your remaining pig over. You want to put yourself in your opponent's head as well. He knew that, or maybe he didn't know, but yeah, he was able to get away with the lightning unpunished there because it also hit my Musk. So yeah, small mistake by me, but yeah, we have a very good cycle here for a Balloon in the back, and yeah, generally some good advice I have against hut decks is to pre-place your Evil Musk, because when they place the hut, yeah, as you can see, he tried to block with the skeletons, but the Musk was already locked onto the hut because we placed it early. And yeah, we're just spamming everything here at 0 to defend his stuff because, yeah, damage is very, very important. We're up about 1,000 damage right now. It's looking good, but this position is still losable because their defense is like a brick wall, if you will. So here I just decide to go into feint him, you know, to bait out his evil pigs. Maybe not the greatest by us, but you know, it forced out his evil pigs, and we don't have to spend too much to defend his ghost, so I think it was not the worst decision. But yeah, he's already back to pigs after those skeletons and ghosts, so We're forced to get a snowball and then a delayed bomb tower, but since he did spend a lot, he's not able to afford the lightning right away. And to be honest, I should have gone in here. Those were bad skeletons by me, just wasting 1 elixir. But yeah, since he did commit along that offense, it would have been better if I just went in right away. But yeah, we do end up going in. But yeah. And a bad hut placement by him. I did pop the ability, hoping that it would help the balloon to one-shot the hut, but unfortunately it survives on 1 HP and, you know, it delays the balloon's path a little bit, but we still get death bomb, so it's looking pretty decent for us still. And this is a free bomb tower. He didn't have enough elixir to support it with the lightning, so not the best by him, but he is cycling to the evo, so yeah. Here I probably still should have just gone in instead of protecting the musketeer, but yeah, we end up going in and then we try to get another pre-evo musk on his hut. Yep, very nice Evil Musketeer, and this also forces out another lightning on defense, but those piggies are going to my tower. I have literally nothing for it because I just played my snowball, and a very, very close game in the end. I had my butt clenched there, so to speak, but yeah, overall a nice win, pretty decent plays, and yeah, see you in the last game. Alright, we're in the last game of the challenge here, and we're up against this guy. Turns out he's playing Golem. So once you're able to identify their deck from the cards they play, then you need to be able to form a game plan in your head as quickly as possible. But yeah, generally against Golem, you need to have very good pressure in single elixir. Try to take their tower in an ideal situation, and then defend. Even if they have a lot of air cards, you can outcycle them, or air counters, excuse me. And this is going to be the best showcase of Hero Ice Golem this entire video because it's so insanely broken on defense against Golem. But yeah, it's very important to protect that Musketeer. But yeah, here he also commits in Witch here, and I didn't realize at first that the Musketeer locked onto the Witch. But yeah, since he played his minions and his Witch, it's worth going Naked Loon just to test the waters to see if he has another air counter. But yeah, if I bar burrowed along with that balloon, I maybe could have taken his tower, but, you know, I was playing it conservative there, which there's nothing wrong with. But yeah, here he goes for an elixir pump, and it's not really a good idea to just naked miner on the pump, because it's very easy for them to catch it. So when they do a pump like that, it's always good to build up a push in the back, like I'm doing right now. So then we have all the elixir, so he needs to defend the balloon, the Ice Golem, the Musketeer, and then he has to protect his pump. There's too much to do. But yeah, here get a very nice snowball on the minions, and nice high skeletons for that mini P.E.K.K.A. That's a very bad ability there, but the balloon is taking his entire tower, and the evil skeletons are able to clean everything up. So yeah, this is like pretty much about as ideal as it gets. He really messed up. Average Golem player, I guess. Here he's going to build up a really scary push, and I didn't want to Evo Musketeer on the pump. I wanted to save it for, you know, something else. But yeah, you can defend Golem even when you're in an elixir deficit. So this is the proper defensive setup. You want to cycle one Ice Golem first if you have it before placing your bomb tower. It's just to displace the troops. And this Evo Musketeer snipe to kill the Witch so the Musketeer doesn't lock onto the skeletons, but I should have pushed the Witch a little bit further to the side. I got a little bit lucky there that the Musk still targeted onto the Witch. And here, look at this Hero Ice Golem ability. It just freezes everything. We snowball the Lumberjack back so it doesn't just run to our Musketeer. And then, yeah, place a bomb tower there to take care of the Witch. And yeah, we still have the surviving Musketeer, just DPSing down everything and getting infinite value, which is why it's so important to keep her alive. And yeah, that's a pretty clean defense overall. Like, we would not have been able to defend that so well without the Hero Ice Golem. But yeah, against Golem, just pop the Hero Ice Golem ability on defense. It's like, there's literally no disadvantage to it. So yeah, that was the 12th win. Very clean game against Golem. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the outro then. Alright, that's going to be all for today's quick and chill Grand Challenge video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know in the comments below what kind of videos you would like to see next, and yeah, take care.